Simon Watson, and my company is Watson Gym Equipment that I started back in 1999. We manufacture high-end specialist strength equipment, benches, custom specialist benches, plate-loaded machines where people add weights to the machine, and then also selectivized machines where you have a stack of weights and somebody puts a pin in the required weight. So I first started working with Mazak, I think it was 2010. We started making our dumbbells, which is a lot of very simple work, but machining billets. And there was a local company we were using for that, and also all the bearing housings and things that we made. And as I said, it was tough controlling the inventory. Using a subcontractor, we had to buy in bulk with everything. So I started thinking if we could bring CNC machining in-house, just with a lathe, we could really improve that efficiency, and we could hold less stock. As long as we had steel, we could hold less stock of the finished components. Yeah, so I looked at various manufacturers when I realized that we needed a CNC machine. But what struck me with Mazak mainly was the done-in-one philosophy where components come off as a finished product. So that was really important, knowing we'd need to get components off very quickly and then change quickly to another component, get a batch of those and then change again. So that appealed to me. Visiting the Mazak factory, seeing that everything was built there, it's not machines that are bought in, that really appealed to me as well. Mazak in Worcester is fairly close, and learning about how many engineers are on the road, so if there ever was an issue, it could be quickly repaired. These are all things that really struck me initially. Initially, speaking to different companies, going with Mazak, I knew from what people had said, Mazak offer great customer service. So my expectations going in with Mazak were really, really high. I was expecting a lot. So Mazak hit all that, all the things I was expecting. Everything happened as they said. If I asked any information, it would come back quickly. So that all happened exactly as expected. The things I didn't expect, the extra bits that then make it great customer service. The way my sales guy, Tim, would call in, genuinely checking everything was okay, genuinely making sure I was totally happy with what I'd bought. Other trips to Mazak where they'd do the training and things, there were just unexpected things that really pushed the customer service above and really gave me confidence to then carry on buying, and knowing I was going to be buying more machines to stay with Mazak and continue on. I used to have an office that overlooked the workshops, and I could see all our welders that were hard to get hold of and expensive. They'd be spending probably 80% of their time cutting steel, drilling holes, basically doing everything, prepping the steel, but only a small amount of their time was spent welding. And I was aware of tube lasers at the time, but again, like previously years before, this seemed like a really big, scary investment to buy a tube laser. For us, that back then was a fairly small company, but I kept doing the figures and it all stacked up. I could see how if we had a tube laser, we could then give the kits to the welders. They'd spend a lot less time cutting steel and stuff themselves. So it seemed to make sense. So we took the leap and we bought our very first Fabrigear in, I think it was 2017. Buying that first Fabrigear is, in the life of the business, it's the biggest jump forward we've had with a single investment. I mean, it's completely transformed how we operate. The welders now are welding, they're not cutting steel, they're doing what we pay them, need them to do. Loads of other benefits I didn't realise, like how we can tab parts together really, really quickly on the software, on the FGCAM software. We can create tabs so parts locate and kind of self-jig together, which makes the job for the welders far simpler. And when we moved to our new factory here, we've now bought a second Fabrigear, so it's taken the load off the first one. But a really, really important part of our business is the tube laser. The tube lasers and the flatbed lasers really allowed us not just to expand our product range, but the way we produce the current products we had. We can now customize everything to suit. We can cut things in a way we just couldn't before, even though we were subbing out our flat plate work. To change anything was very slow and long-winded. It would take a long time to make changes, and it was painful to make changes. But now having that in-house means we can instantly change anything we want. We're only cutting what we need, we're cutting what we're making in 2 or 3 days' time. The TechMag system on the Nexus is just made everything far more efficient than we could have before. The issue previously, and the issue we would have had here, would have moved over, is storing plate work. We're always stuck for space, so we tend to pile the pallets of sheet on top of each other, and then you're forever moving pallets out of the way to get to something underneath. You then need to get it onto the bed of the laser. So as soon as I was shown the TechMag system, how it would initially store all the steel out of the way, that was appealing in itself. And then to be able to pick whatever you need and it loads automatically, it was pretty obvious from the start how that would massively increase our efficiency. So to give you an idea of the increased efficiency when we built the new unit and put the new Mazak machines in there, which was all around COVID time. So through COVID, steel prices massively increased, but we were fortunate enough to get the new factory finished in time, so that as the steel prices increased, it was completely balanced out with our increase in efficiency, our lower labour cost, and just the efficiency of having the automation. So with the extra Mazak fabric gear and the Mazak Nexus 6 kilowatt laser, that had such an effect of bringing costs down that it completely balanced out the increase in steel price. And of course now steel is coming down as well. It's put us in a really strong position. The more I got involved with Mazak, I really got this feeling of being part of the Mazak family, and this feeling that they really do care. It just gave me that feeling that you were dealing not with a faceless company that you often get these days. And in a way, to me, it was like something for me to aspire to, seeing how Mazak had grown this incredible company with having the Mazak lasers, tube and flat. So we've managed to make our staircases here with our logo. We've made hi-fi stands. Pretty much everything as you walk around, not just the gym side of things, but pretty much everything has been produced on the Mazak equipment. Once we're at a point in a couple of years' time when we can build again, there's many more Mazak machines I've seen that I know could add huge value to us. So we'll be investing in more machines as we push forward. Quite possibly another Mazak fabric gear, which is really key to our business.